Well, hello, peoples. Hello, YouTube. Esquire DFC, aka The Dark Prans, coming to you from YouTube. That's right, we got the TNG page back up again, and I'm really excited about doing this video today. This is a video that I've wanted to cover for a long time. I've just not had the time to do it. Course creation in TGC 2019. Now, I've had a lot of comments about this on Discord. Why have I never made a course for a game I've played so much? As you guys can see, I'm only level 5. I lost all the progress on my old Microsoft account. I'm playing on Xbox One S. I lost all my progress. I didn't really want to play the game for a long time after that happened. And now I've finally puckered up the courage to come back on and give you guys a tutorial about how my course is going to look, and a little bit about where I based my course on. I based it on a real location, somewhere that's pretty special to me, up in the north of Scotland. I'm of course talking about Rothiemurchus. Now, for those of you that don't know, Rothiemurchus, or specifically Rothiemurchus Lodge, is just outside of Aviemore in the north of Scotland, and 80% of it, of the ranch and everything they've got up there, is used by Her Majesty's Armed Forces to do orienteering, mountain climbing and skiing training, along with survival courses on how you can read the land and live off it. Now, way back when I signed up in 2008, this is where they sent me, Rothiemurchus. You could check it out on Google. It translates, and it actually means the jewel of Scotland. It's one of the very few areas of Scotland that I would say I really like. I like its tranquility. I like the view. There is a naval lodge there that I was at, and when I was there, we done hill walking, we participated in team building tasks, how to get on with people, problem solving, map reading, and most of the early training that I actually partook in took place at Rothiemurchus. Uh, in the winter, it's a nightmare. From October to February, absolute nightmare. You would not want to be up on the peaks at Rothiemurchus. There's been climbers killed there for years. A lot of people underestimate the beauty of the place. It's so beautiful. It's very peaceful and tranquil. My course doesn't do this any justice about this area. I've named my lizard after this place. For those that know me personally on Facebook or Twitter, I've got a Moroccan Euromastix, and I named him Rothi in homage to Rothiemurchus. Before we begin, special shout outs today. Sophia Elise, check out the link in the description below after this live stream has ended. Major Fortnite player. She started to play with all the high up pros. You guys have probably heard of them all. I don't know any of them personally. Hell, I don't know anything about Fortnite. My stream that I tried to do on Fortnite didn't go too well. I think there was a 10-year-old girl that was basically handing my ass to me, to be polite. And again, this stream is a 16 plus only. Please, if you're under the age of 16, the language that I use, you know, so YouTube doesn't get mad with me, basically. Yeah, so Rothiemurchus. In the winter, it is absolutely hellish. You would want to be as far away from it as possible. In the summer, though, spectacular. It translates into the jewel of Scotland, the jewel being the lake that is at the bottom of Rothiemurchus, which is actually a mountain in the Cairngorm National Park. It's a very beautiful area. You guys should really check it out. I'm actually hoping one day to go back up there and have a live event from the very top of it. To climb from the lodge up to the plateau takes about, now bear in mind this is 3,000 feet give or take. I think it's 2,873 feet high. It takes you about 6 hours to climb from the bottom of this thing to the top. It is absolutely gorgeous, and since I had to do a stream about course design, I thought, what better course to be my first ever course that I built than Rothy Marcus. Now, there is not any golf course near there. In reality, there is no golf course. It's all training grounds and tourist attractions, hill walking, skiing, fishing is another big business. Of course, it sits next to Aviemore, which is just around the corner, basically, from the Spey River, which is a very popular fishing destination. So I'm going to get into it now. Rothy Marcus GC. I'll click edit. I've only done, I think I've finished about the first 7 holes of the 18-hole course. I decided, instead of making 9 holes, to go ahead and make the full 18, which was a monumental choice considering I've never made any course before in this game, especially after I lost my old account. I've commented frequently on a lot of videos that I've seen on YouTube about courses that have been made that have become really popular and how to become an actual TGC member. Notable shout out to the player who actually made the Nomad course. I found a great deal of inspiration from your videos, and it's definitely gone a long way with helping me decide the layout of certain aspects of the course. So getting into it, you'll see that the lake itself, I've tried to do it to scale, and this is the pathway into the lodge. This actually replicates Google Maps in real life. I've modelled the road into it exactly like Google Maps. I couldn't get the shape of the mountain itself correct because the textures and the rendering it gives you in the game just aren't good enough. But the scale from left to right is about right. The pathway in looks identical to Google Maps. You can't actually get into the car park. There's a parking lot for you Americans. Parking lot. There is a parking lot outside the lodge, a very small one. That is all done to scale. And I've transformed the car park into an area where you can keep your golf carts and things. So if we come down the main street here, you'll see it's secluded by trees on both sides. You can't actually get to this on the course. I'm planning on doing a par 4, a high par 4, where you can, cut right over these trees. So yeah, this is the road in, and it's actually doing, pretty well. I think the trees are perfectly at scale. So this is the lodge here. Now the lodge in reality is not 2 stories, it's only 1, but it's much wider. I was considering joining 2 together to give that feel of realness, but I decided instead of that to go with just what the game offered me. Now the lodge itself overlooks the lake, and I've put a tent down there. There used to be gazebos and things down there at the back of the lodge. I understand now that they've been moved, but I'm going to keep the tent and thing, the tent and features in. Now this beachhead here, no deep water, the danger deep water sign, that's actually there in real life. It doesn't look like that, but it is there, and I've actually got a photograph on Facebook standing, looking out. You'll see the behind the sailboat, there's a little arete that just slopes down. That's accurate. I've actually stood right at the water's edge and looked straight across on a cold, brisk November morning through the fog, and that is like one of my favourite views that I've ever seen in my life. And I've been all over the world, and nothing compares to the beauty of what the Cairngorms can offer. Anyone in the UK, don't go to the Lake District, don't go to a big city, get on the internet and go to Rothy Marcus. There's a lot to do. There's plenty of local eateries, restaurants, there's tons of stuff for the kids, there's play parks and things not 2 miles away from it if you've got a car, plenty of access by roads. You just go straight up the A9. So getting into the first hole, you'll see up to the 7th. The first hole I wanted a nice tee off to give you that wow factor straight away. So I went with a flower theme for around the tee box for the first tee. For the course specifically at the moment, I'm only using red tees. I will release updated versions of the course as the months go on. But looking out over the first tee, we'll see it's a slight dogleg par 4. And when you hit from here, you've got rough at the start of the fairway. So long as you can hit the 300-yard mark, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Beware the bunkers though. Left hand side at 300 yards, you do have this first bunker on the left. I wanted to put in a couple of hazards just down the left hand side. Give it that little competitive edge, especially if you play with all the assists off, like I know a lot of people do. A lot of people need that level of competitiveness, because it is my hope that people will use this. A couple of local wildlife aspects. We've got a few deer and things just wandering in and out of the rough, the trees on the right hand side of the dogleg. Second shot, ideally, you want to try and get on the green but not overshoot it. It's heavy rough all at the back with 2 bunkers left and right. So if you pull it, if you hook it, draw it, not too much you can do with that. You can't give away that much. Crowd stands for eventually when if you're playing tournament modes with your friends or whatever, you can turn the crowds on or off, porta cabins, little rake, you know, it's the small things that really matter. If I just show you the crowd to show you what that looks like, add a create tournament crowds. If I turn the crowd on, you'll be able to see the crowd and they take their seats there. Now from here, the green isn't too technical. I wanted a little bit of movement on the green, not too much for the first hole. I find that if you make the course too difficult for a lot of the ones I've played, sometimes the pin positions, they're a pain in the ass. Some people overdo it. A green shouldn't be like here. I wanted to put a danger feature. You want to land on this side of the hill so you don't have to put up and down the little brow here on the green. There's a little bevel on the green just cutting down the left hand side. I wanted to make just a little bit of a feature on the first green. The pin position itself, there is a little burrow. There's only 4 inches that it's raised. That gives you just a little bit of movement on the green. As long as you putt kind of average, if you're an average putter, you will not have a problem with this pin position at all. I've tested it out 30-40 times. The only thing I would say is if you land on this side of the brow just by sheer chance, your best bet if you land back here is to try and take the hill out altogether. Don't cut the corner, just putt straight through the break, because I've tendently found that it'll land round about this area here, which then you can 2-putt. If you try and cut that though, the chances are you're going to hit this red and you're going to roll down here. There is another slight bevel in the green and you're going to end up in the fairway. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is, for par, just stay straight on the dogleg, first shot, second shot over the bunkers, just land anywhere here. You should be able to 1-putt it from about 20 feet. Not too difficult, pretty straightforward. So moving on to the second tee. The second, I didn't want to copy the theme exactly, so I've just got the one kind of flower just round here, made it a little bit bigger to scale. The hedges and things of course are still there. I wanted to do something a little bit different here. I wanted to not quite do the opposite of the first hole, but I wanted to bring the water of the lake just into play down the right hand side. So what I did was, I put rough at the start, I scaled the land up slightly at this part. You'll see that the green down here on the first is a little bit lower. I've scaled it up, added in a few rocky bits, hills, whatnot. Now, the first shot here, you want to kind of not blast it too hard. You'll see that there's a few bunkers come up into play here. Ideally you want to lay up, because this bunker sits about 280. This one sits at 330. Starts at 330 yards. End of it's 326. Ideally what you would want to do is hit it with a 3-wood, lay up to that bunker. If you hit it with the driver, that's going to bring water into play if you fuck it up. And everybody fucks shots up. That's the nature of golf. Don't pull it left. If you pull it left, you're in a big amount of trouble, because there is a little obscured little pond here. I'm eventually going to put a couple of ducks and things in. This area here, big danger area, heavy rough behind, and it's just all hilly. It's all up and down and round, and you might be able to get it out with a punch directly over the pond. You'll see another couple of wildlife features there, like a swan. The swans are actually influenced by an area called Strathclyde Park in North Lanarkshire between Motherwell and Hamilton, where I currently stay. Actually, it's the biggest theme park in the north of Britain. You'll see punch shot. It looked alright from where we were. If you try and take a punch through the trees, you'll notice that hill. You will hit that hill. So a lot of danger coming into play on the left hand side if you pull it left. If you pull it right, you're in the water, like you're in the deep. You're going to take a drop, take an extra shot. 3-wood it, you shouldn't have a problem. These two bunkers, if you 3-wood it, don't come into play. 5-wood, maybe. Depends if you get your tempo correct. If you get two perfects, if you get a PP on it, then you'll be fine. You'll land about the 224, 225. Up to your second shot, providing everything goes well to here, you don't want to pull it right again. Just a little bit of the lake comes into play on the right hand side, some bushes and heavy rough on the right hand side. If you pull it left though, trying to get the onset of the Spey River. There is a similar bridge to this just outside of Rothy on the west side of the range. A little bit of a river here, a little bit of a fjord. You pull it left, that comes into play. You've also got heavy rough and a little gazebo down here. If you pull it, you should be able to get a decent flop shot up over the brow, just up over the brow of the hill onto this bridge. You'll notice another little bevel at the back of the green. That's to prevent people from trying to overshoot. If you play sensibly, which this course was designed to be, although it's a fantasy course, it still has to be played sensibly. There's a lot of danger. I wanted to convey the difficulty of the actual area of Rothy Marcus, and there's a lot of flat stretches of land, plateaus and things that I wanted to kind of influence each pin position on. So, not too much going on, same. Get it within 20 feet behind it. If you get over here, it just drops off a little bit. As long as you're not on the edge of the first cap, not too much to deal with. That's the second hole. That's all there is to it. Just don't pull it left, don't pull it right. Not too much. There's a little bit of forgiveness here and there. I will say, if you want to experiment, I find that second shot 3-iron, pushing 4 with beginner clubs, as long as you get that essential backspin, you should be alright. You should be able to get it within 5-6 feet. Up and over the bridge now. The first really dangerous pin position. I wanted to do something that was influenced by something that happened in Rothy Marcus when I was actually there, and of course that was a landslide in 2011 which killed 4 climbers. Now, same again, pin to tee, this is a par 3, high raising, lifting par 3, and you'll see up over a kind of quarry looking area. So first shot, get it as close as you can, stick with a 7 or a 6-iron, big hill. If you pull it short, don't worry about it too much, it's just medium rough, 40 to 55% medium rough all the way through here. If you hit the shadow, 60-75% rough, not too bad, because you could get it up with a decent pitch shot. The staircase up to the next hole, wanted to do something kind of spectacular looking. It semi-worked. It wasn't too great, it wasn't too bad, just something my own I wanted to throw in. If you go too far, you've got this little sand bunker. This sand bunker isn't that deep. You should be able to pitch it up from there, no problem. A couple of pin seekers. I've tested it out 15-16 times, hit the pin about 3 or 4 of them. Went beyond it a little bit, not too bad. Shouldn't be very difficult. The green itself, a little bit of a reward if you get up here. The green is almost perfectly flat. If you land next to the bunker, slight uphill, braking left. If you land slightly at the front, slight uphill, braking right. This fraction of a brake to the right. But yeah, that's about it. If you land in the rocks, flop shot straight down, get it within 10-15 feet, shouldn't be much of a problem. Added in this little pathway, This actually reminds me of an area called Crianlarich up at the top of Scotland. It's actually part of the West Highland Way. Either if you're coming down the way from Fort William, it's your second stop. If you're going up the way, it's the second last stop on the way from Fort William from Mulgai. Because the West Highland Way, of course, goes from Mulgai, just outside of Glasgow, all the way up to the North Highlands, and it ends in Fort William, where there's a great mountain warehouse shop. It's the Ben Nevis shop, I think it's called, named after the famous island at the north of Scotland. So this little path directly just comes out from that tee. I wanted to put a few nature things in, squirrels and whatnot, but that's the third hole. Moving on now, this was a real difficult one to try and get. Number 4 tee off is over here again. Again, I wanted to keep the same areas, the same kind of flower setup, more weeds, just bushes, shrubbery going all the way down. Of course, that's the pathway that you'd walk up to get to this tee. Aiming up, slight rise, only 3 feet up, I believe. Yeah, roughly. So you get to this area here, and then it drops down. Big drop down. You shouldn't really hit that. There's no need to. This is a layup because it is a 90-degree par dog leg, par 4. You'll get your first shot. This is more challenging because you obviously have the trees that come into play, overhanging branches, a little bit of seclusion, a huge bunker going down that immediate left hand side past the first fairway. You can go through the trees on this one. If you just stick a little bit left, you should just miss these trees and come in just before the bunker, which is around about this area here, setting you up for a good 6-5 iron, not 6 or 7 iron really. If you've got the stronger clubs, you can certainly get here. So second shot, as long as you've missed the bunker, if you hit the bunker, 7 iron should take you to this area of the second fairway. If you are on the button, if you get the money, get a good money shot, straight up over the hill, 6 iron should land you on the green with a 6 iron, which would be here. You can do it with a 6. That tree doesn't come into play. 6 iron should drop you around about there. If you want to play it safe, use a 7. 7 should take you, as long as you pull back on it, get a bit of backspin going, 70% par, should land you into the fairway. Again, you could 8 iron it and just drop there, but if you want a good lie, just in case you overshoot, if you're a cautious player, with all the advanced settings and everything, all the assists turned off, you want to just tap it just so it rolls to the edge of the green if you're playing for par. If you want to get a birdie though, you need to get it in this little area here, and you'll notice that the way the green goes, everything kind of isn't moving until you get near the flag. You've got huge drop down on that left hand side and just to the northwest side of the pin as well. If you look from the pin position, there isn't much moving, but if you overhit it and land too close to the flag, in other words, if you're too greedy, you will start finding that you're not going to have much power in your putts, and everyone hates missing a 6-7 foot putt. I do it all the time. This area, just don't be greedy. Slight drop down to the left there just before the pin, second square back. That would tend to mean if you putt up this way, you're going to have a horrible left to right, horrible awkward length left to right with a little bit of movement. The ball's going to arc up and then kind of question mark shape round. Don't be greedy on this one. Go for the par 4, play it safe. You go for a par 3, land short on your approach. You shouldn't have too much of a problem with that one. Next tee off. Wanted to bring a little bit of autumn / summer into it. Lots of different flowers at the start of the tee off. Public toilets, a couple of camera towers. Let me just show you the crowd setting for this one. I wanted to have a kind of close crowd for this one. There's the huge crowd at this tee off, and of course the crowd's watching you for the previous one. This one, I was kind of influenced by Watership Down. I'm not going to lie, this one was influenced heavily on Watership Down. I've just not long ago seen the new animation on Netflix of Watership Down, and it was actually very, very good. I had never ever seen the old one, but I watched the new one and then seen the old one, and I'm like, wanted to just convey a lot of wildlife, a lot of flowers. You'll see a lot of bees and butterflies and things flying around. Very summery, very bright, and also birch trees with cherry blossom. Love cherry blossom trees. Pity they don't stick around for very long, but this is going to be the main start of all the wildlife, all the flowers and things. Golf carts at the start of the fairway, public toilets, some camera towers, some golf balls, because everyone loses golf balls, and if you're going to lose a golf ball, you're going to lose it here, because this fairway just goes on. This one is a par 5, I'm sure. Is that a par 5, or is that the next one? Yeah, I believe it's a par 5. So, a little garage, just a little storage hut, I think, a couple of puddles and things, ponds. So, first tee shot, nice and simple. Keep it straight, get as close as you can to this bunker. Now, this bunker sits at 350 yards, pushing 360 actually, in between 350 360. Lay up, just hit it, don't even lay up, lay it as hard as you can. Drive it all the way. It's completely flat almost, a little bit of up and down, not too much going on. Slight drag from left to right, slight slope, and the reason why it's a slight slope is because there's water over there. I wanted to convey that the water has sunk, it's raised the ground up behind it. If you pull it left, you might have a bit of a problem if you hit the heavy weeds. If you hit the cabbage, you're going to have a bit of a problem getting it back on and not dropping a shot, because you have to get it over the bunker. And that, from this point here, is about 180 yards. Very difficult shot if you pull left. If you pull right, not much of a problem. No heavy rough, just light rough. You should get it there. If you hit it sweet as a nut though, you land in this area here. This area. You should find relatively easy second shot. We're just going up, over the hill, slight rise, and then down sharply into this green. This green, a lot of things going on in this green. You'll see from the way in, you cannot see that bunker on the left. If you hit it and pull it left, you get a bit of a problem. A lot of wildlife, a lot of bushes. Second bunker as well. If you really, really hook your shot or slice it, there's going to be problems. The crowd's obviously over here. You don't want to slice it. You don't want to hook it. You just hit it. Just hit it sweet. Just take your time. 70% power is enough to get you there. Don't need to blast it. If you hit 70%, you'll land just before it. This gives you a better lie. Slight left to right, slight uphill, inverted if you go over it. From left to right, if you land before it, now it goes right to left when you're below it, and it's also uphill a lot more than what it would be if you were to lay up from this position. My favourite place to play this hole is over by this bunker and go for a long putt. The reason why that is I wanted to give the sense that long putts would be more rewarding in certain aspects. So if you land on this area, very, very little movement, slight left to right, up 2 inches, give it a decent amount of power, don't overestimate, and you should be able to get it within 2 feet. You get two putt from here very easy, and it's very rewarding to get a birdie with a long putt and 2 putt par 5. Very, very nice. This huge crowd could be problematic, especially if you land inside of it. If you hit the path, just beware, it'll catapult you over into the heavy rough with a lot of different bushes and things. Water coming into play underneath it. Don't select the wrong club, of course. Like, you're not going to want a 4 or a 5 iron from the bottom of that sand bunker straight up over it, because that water there is too close. There is actually water over there, and there's also a sand bunker hidden behind the crowd. Just kind of in there. If you hit the trees, don't panic. Chip it out, take the drop shot. Cherry blossom trees, I love cherry blossom trees. Love them. They're beautiful. Gorgeous. So that is hole 5. I've only got 2 more to show you, and then we'll do a mock playthrough of it. What is the time? Yep, we're about halfway through our live stream right now. Let me just sit up a bit so you guys can see me a little bit better. The next tee, I wanted to do something different. The bushes and the things are good, but not all the way through the course. Needs to be a bit of variety. I wanted a little patio area with a little bit of seclusion, a little bit of character, a couple of drinks machines up here and there. I wanted a bin, obviously it's good to pay attention to detail. Still only red tees, a couple of signs, please repair ball marks, divots and things, as you would get on a normal course, a couple of porta cabins because we're obviously 6 holes in. Now, this course takes off here. A lot of wildlife and water on the left hand side. A lot of ducks, swans, etc. over here, ducks and swans, etc. again. Down the main drag you'll notice a big huge area of rough and water on the right hand side, huge amount of rough on the left side. I've put markers in because there's a lot of hazards, 150, 200 and 250 yards respectively. Another pond on the left. Didn't put wildlife at all the ponds for the simple fact that it would be too much, you know. So rough all the way down the left, trees and rough all the way down the right. You want to keep it straight. Lay up, this is a no-brainer. You must lay up for this. And the reason why that is because I've added in the Spey River on a rock incline running straight through the middle of the hole. And eventually when I'm finished this, I plan on making it a kind of old watermill setup, as there is at the bottom of the Cairngorms. There's a lot of old watermills. Of course, it's no secret that Scotland has some of the purest and cleanest water in the world. It's not prominent to line scale or anything like that. You know, England, yes, but up north of Scotland, the north of the UK, the further north you go, the better quality of water that there is. And I wanted to convey that here. So as you can see, quite a reasonable amount of steam, vapour things, you know, a lot of vapour coming off this waterfall. I wanted it to be fast flowing. As you'll see, it goes all the way up. I don't just stop here, I go all the way through the trees and things. Eventually there'll be more rocks and things added in. I'm going to build a rock face over it so the river makes it appear as if it's coming out of a rock face just at the area boundary, because that is the area boundary for the map. A few more rocks and things just to quickly add in on the right hand side. But you want to lay up for this shot. You can be greedy, go for a more difficult approach shot. Now you'll see why a lot of people want to land here, because it gives you a clean straight path straight to the tee, no, straight to the hole, the pin. If you lay up, slightly longer shot, you won't be able to control it as much because it's quite uphill at the end and then it comes down. If you hit the brow of the hill, you can roll. You will only roll to about the first cut, which is here, the 447, 450 mark. The 450 will get you on. However, if I show you this, looking at it from the top of the hill, you can actually see that there's a little bevel in the hill. So ideally what you want to do is keep it low. If you're on the left hand side of the sand bunker, keep it low and just draw it very slightly, and you'll see why. The green shape on this one is a little bit bumpy. If you land on this side of it, it's going to be very, very difficult to be able to judge how much right to left there actually is. And the reason why that is because it's 6 inch up. And 6 inches doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're playing with all the assists off, if you try and putt this sometimes, the speed going uphill is going to kill it. And it's going to lose velocity. As it loses velocity, you're not going to be going as far left as you'd think. And certainly not as what you would want. What you would want to do is just slightly, if I show you it, what we'll do is, I'll come to do a play test in a second once we cover the last hole. You just want to burn the edge of the top of the hill. So say for example we land, let me just get my selector out. Say for example we land here, right at the edge of the first cut. You'll notice that there's a very slight right to left. As we go up the hill though, we're going to lose velocity and it's going to stop moving so far left. So in actual fact, you could see your putt going like that and stopping there. If you hit it too hard though, you could see it going up at this kind of angle and then stopping. Slight left to right at the top. If you go too far left, it's just going to come back, because the hill here is at its highest point on the green, so you're going to roll back and the ball would take a kind of that kind of shape. It would go up and it would up back down. If you over putt it, you are going to roll down the other side. That presents more problems. So while we're over here, say you land on this side of the green. This is a horrible position to putt from. A lot of left to right, a lot of right to left. Easiest you could hope for, you would think, putting through the break. Not going to happen because we've got force coming from this way and lateral force coming from the other way. So what's going to happen is your ball is going to stop here and then it's going to start to roll back. What you want to do on approach, and this is going to not make a lot of sense unless you've played the game a hell of a lot, but on your approach you want to land behind it. Now there's not a hell of a lot of room behind it, I know this, even if you roll down the back, but looking from this direction, and I've designed it this way, you've only got this little area to contend with here. There's no movement on this line here. Look at that, look at specifically this line here, this little white dot, this little white dot, and this little white dot. So it's starting to move here. That doesn't come into play. You just want to go slight left to right. Enough power just to get it up over the hill, and you'll see that it starts coming back towards you. Not the case. And the reason why that isn't the case is because these white lines don't move. It's a little bit more shallow than it is here. As you can see on this side, every white dot is moving in all different directions. This approach shot, not the case. You do have a little bit of break. Just get it up the hill. The line is going towards where the hole would be, so that's a much better angle for a putt. What you want to do, if you just get it over the hill, gravity is going to start pulling the ball towards you. It can't go any further than this line. There is no rollback from this line. You're just going to get up over the break, and you should land right about here within 3-4 feet. 2 putting it. If you want to really go for it, you could essentially try and land it within these 9 grid squares. That would be the ideal shot, but it's going to take a lot of practice. So that is the more challenging of the 7 that you've seen so far. Well, 6 that you've seen. From the 6th now, up, round and behind. I wanted to do a Japanese garden kind of thing. Moving on to the next one. A lot to look at here. You've got a pond behind you, some swans, some fireflies, butterflies. Again, pretty colourful, all the insects and things flying around. I wanted to give it that element of realism. The pathway, a few ferns heading up the hill. This is another high approach shot, but it's a par 4, unlike the rocky one, which was the par 3. This is a much more difficult challenge for short iron players. You can get it up here with a 4 iron, you can get it up with a 5 wood, but I wouldn't recommend using the driver, and you'll see why. You can get it up with the driver, but it takes a perfect, and it needs to be bang on. It's very straight and centered. A couple of little huts over here, some wildlife in the water this time, some fish. Big heavy area of rough, huge rough area. I wanted to throw that in there. If you don't get it up the hill, if you select the wrong club, you're going to really struggle. Stick to the 4 iron, 3 iron, 5 wood or 3 wood. If you're exceptionally good, go with the driver. This course will be rated from medium to high, like difficulty. First of all, we've got this little landing area. If you're a short iron player, you take your time. You could land round about here with a 7 iron, not a problem. This landing area comes into play if you're slightly longer, 6, 5 iron. If you're a 4 or a 3 iron, or a 5 wood and beyond, you're looking at this area here. Driver, you can get it here in 1, but it takes one hell of a player. I can't do it. I've got to the rough here and kind of roll back down, but I can't seem to get it over the hill. I've got a friend that test played this for me, and he could get it up in 1. It took him about 2 or 3 attempts. He did get it up here in 1 shot, and the beauty of it is the green rolls beautifully down to this little countersunk area. Big drop here, and a very slight drop just kind of after the red area. It does roll beautifully all the way down here, and you can end up putting for 1 because there isn't a hell of a lot of movement on the green. If you approach this hole with the mentality of trying to use your driver, you need to be careful. Firstly, because this hill comes into play. If you hit the hill, it's going to slingshot you over here into the rocks, and then it's going to slingshot you out anywhere over here. It's not good. Believe me, I've been in those rocks. I've been bouncing above the rocks. I've landed over here quite a few times, kind of down this area here, just by hitting that rock face. Apart from that, not a hell of a lot else going on. big draggy green, big huge draggy green. This is all green all the way down here. Wanted to take a kind of green size similar to St Andrews, and I realise we've got 20 minutes to go. This is the last one I'm going to show you before I test play them. There will be a few more videos as the course progresses. Yeah, not much going on in the green. It all depends what kind of player you are. If you're a short iron player, go from point to point. If you're a really ambitious player, get the driver out. Keep redoing it. Replay your shot over and over and over. You will eventually nail it. I've not got the patience to, because I'm not really a driver player. Even like on a real course, I'm medium range iron player. My iron play is a lot more solid than my driving and teeing off and things. On this kind of shot, this is very similar to one of the holes actually at Palace Rig Country Park in North Lanarkshire. It's kind of based on a real course. I wanted to do, for example, a 3 iron. What I would do is I would use a 5, because I'm a little bit better with a 5 than I am a 3. If I used a 5 iron, I could essentially land it on this area. Not too much to do from there. You can just brush the tree and land on this area of the green. You could 2-putt it, because you're going to roll down the hill regardless. You can't overshoot it, because it's going to roll you straight back. Movement in all directions behind it. Keep it sweet, keep it simple. This one is for the players. Whoever you guys play it, that's the way this course was designed for. On that note, that is the last course I wish to show you today. The last hole I wish to show you. A few more bits and bobs, you know, they've got ball cleaners and things, club cleaners, a couple of drinks machines. Added in more cubicles and things, public toilets, just a little bit of a mention to the real courses, of course, who spend hundreds of thousands of pounds a year on making sure everything's right for spectators. So big shout out for the British Open, Scottish Open, you know, all the guys that work there, all the security staff. You do an amazing job. Keep it up. Now I'm going to briefly play through the first 7 holes and we'll see how we go. We should be done for the hour. So let's just see now. What have we got? Yeah, so this is the first time I've ever played from the first hole straight through to the 7th. 3 iron it gives me by default. Of course I don't use any hybrid clubs and things, because really it's not really my thing. So my first shot, I've been using the driver. As you can see, I'm not a power player. I know from experience that I can just get to that bunker in about no more. 274 yards, I can live with that. Now, as you can see about the first hole I mentioned, iron play, you want to aim on this side of the hole. So I'm going to aim, I think I might control it a little bit more. It's up 2 feet, huge jump from the 5 to the 3 iron. I'm just going to lay up just a little bit with a 6 iron. Oh, I pulled my swing, which isn't good. Of course, now you're going to see that hill in action, you know, the runoff from the green. I think I might have just got away with it. I think I just got away with it. No, I did not. There's the pin position there. You can see big left to right. So now I've got that problem that I was explaining. If I land on the hill, not the easiest thing to do. So from the map's perspective, I'm here. I want to kind of just 11 yards, 36 feet. As long as I get the tempo and the pace correct, there shouldn't be much of a problem for 2-putting it. So I just want to cut it, and that'll do. Not too far away. So now, just a little bit up the hill. Ooh. Just missed out, just missed out. So that'll be it for a bogey then. So a bogey, relatively okay. And I've just had a notification actually that someone wants to join in. The next live stream, hopefully I'll have a few players to live stream with. This is a game I've not really played a hell of a lot with other people, other than my best friend. And he's great at this game. He's completed the campaign like 3 times over. He's just, oh god, he's great. He's a great golfer, much better than I am. Okay, oh God, Christ alive, I've pulled it again. This is not going great. I think it's just, ooh. Ooh, just let me away with it. just about. Okay, so 2 feet down, I want to lay up 9 iron, I reckon. Straight as a die. I didn't pull that one. My wood play is absolutely appalling, honestly. Always, if I get a bigger club, I pull it every single time. Irons, I'm a little bit more confident with them, especially the, the higher irons. So not much happening here. Little left to right. I'll take it on the line. Oh, it's going to roll back. Close, close. And putting for par, and it's in. The par 3 riser. Let's see. Beautiful view in going into this shot here. Pitching wedge. Up 41 feet though. So I'm going to give it an 8 iron. Oh, and I pulled it. Is that going to be bunker band? I think it's bunker band. Aye. So you see everything's strategically placed. All the hazards and things, you can hit them. I hit them all the time. Let's try pitch. Oh god. A chip. Oh. It was a bit hard. I should have powered down a little bit. Not much happening here. As I said, when you actually get onto the green, it is a little bit more rewarding. And I hate when that happens. A little bit more rewarding if you do get onto the green. There's not much happening. Like pretty much nothing. Unless you land on the left hand side of it, then it's a slight left to right drag. But it's generally okay. 4th hole now. This potentially going to be one of the harder holes on the front 9. As you'll see, you just come in just below the trees. You just miss them. If you're a professional player though, you should be able to get it over them. Because now I've got a difficult shot. Now, when I find out where the hell I'm going, yep, I'm going up and round the corner here. See the trees there. Ideally I want to land in this area. Get a lob wedge out, get it really high, up and over the trees. With advanced clubs you will be able to hit further than that. I'm on semi-pro at the moment, so I don't get as far. Now the 3 wood. You'll see however this hill in front of us, so I'm going to have to club down to an iron, get it down here. Just keep it simple. Decided to get a little bit more length. I want to try and lay up better with my approach shot. Try and one putt it. I'm in the rough, so it kills the speed. And that was a pretty decent approach shot. Oh dear, I've had a pop-up. Jeez oh. That was my post that I put up. Okay. So this tee off, let's see. This is a secluded tee shot. As long as I can keep it straight with the driver, I'm okay. My iron plays much better. By no means am I a professional player. I'm more of a statistician than a professional player myself. So now I've left myself a long, draggy 3 iron shot. As long as I keep it semi-straight, bunkers shouldn't really come into play. So if you see, I've went from the back approach and towards the hole. I might putt it from the first cut because it's not too difficult. Yeah, I think I'm going to putt that from here. Just put a moderate amount of pace on it. It was a gamble. I could have chipped it, but again, if it bounces, takes a bad lie, then it just rolls miles away. Aye. My putting is terrible tonight. Put him under pressure, that's what it is. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe this video. If you know people that like this game, my gamer tag is, I'll display it on the link below. Prince space G1 space X-ray whiskey X-ray, so XWX. So the 6, I'm going to go for the driver because I can't hit that very far. I pulled it a little bit again. Is it going to fall down? No. Thank God. Woo. Okay, up and over. Do I want to be greedy? It's not really up or down. I could use the hill a little bit, so I'm on the flat side of it, so I'm just going to pull it slightly to the right. Oh, and it went left because I pulled it right. There's going to be a chip on, hopefully one putt if my chip gets close enough. Let's see. So you see, I would class this as quite a hard course. If I was playing this and I didn't know anything about the course, I would class this as pretty hard. Because I'm just an average player. I'm pretty bad actually, probably compared to most. I don't play this game a hell of a lot. I will get into it again though. I've not played it in a few months. Okay, the final hole, par 4, long par 4. Now this one, you'll see what I mean about the landing areas. So 6 iron's not going to cut it. 3 iron possibly, 5 wood possibly, or I could go for the driver and try and get it up there. I've hit that ridge a few times, but nah, it's not going to work. I'll show you guys what I mean. See, I just don't have the power. That ridge, nightmare. Nightmare, but it's designed to be challenging. I didn't want it to be boring. A gap wedge now. I'm going to go with a pitching wedge up and over the humps in the grass. And then if I'm lucky enough, I will catch the hill. I'm not going to catch the hill. Ah, long putt now. Very long putt. So if we just look at the green, we'll see a little bit of left to right and then straight down. So all I'm going to do is hit this as hard as I can. And it should start rolling down. There we go. A little bit of pinball. And again, when you get here, you're a little bit, you're rewarded quite a lot. Not much going on. Oh, when I pulled my putt. I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible at this game. And that's it. That's the playthrough of the 7 that we have made so far. I hope you all enjoyed it. I've still got a few minutes at the end of the stream, so more special shout outs. Taylor Walker, aka Master Chief, Milan Middleton, Agronaut, or now he's called Mike, James Tibaldi, Alex Broski, great, great stuff. I'm hoping that this channel will get more attention very, very soon. I'm going to start uploading a lot more videos for the golf club, and I would like to personally, again, thank, I can't remember your name, I will put your link to your channel down below, but you made the Nomad course, and that is on my favourites list. I absolutely love that course. It's kind of influenced, I think, a little bit by Wolf Creek. That's the kind of vibe I got from it. And it's great, you were the guy that got me interested in wanting to make a course not long after the game came out. And I've played since day one on and off. But yeah, Sophia Elise, I'll link her in the description below as well. I'm going to go on from here now and think about new holes and how I can bring a little bit more of an atmosphere to each hole. If you guys have got any specific requests, if you'd like to see the end of this course, for example, you would like an island 17th hole, which is kind of the thing in golf, you know, if you want a little draggy out bit of land at the bottom of the hill. It's my plan to have more waterfall features and things. I have to scale down. Obviously there's a limit as to how much you can put on these courses. You'll see the orange bar at the top of the screen. That's how much you can put on the courses. I'll scale down roughs and things and a few trees to fit everything in, almost at the halfway mark, and then I'll add in a different version of the course later on, like the landslides and things. I'm going to clear all them away and then put landslides down the holes you've just played. So it's going to be different courses. I'm going to have the Jewel, the Summit, the Plateaus, you know, the lake course all the way around the lake. Multiple things I'm going to do with the course. If you've got any advice, that would be great. Any positive words of wisdom from anyone, that would be absolutely brilliant as well. I don't play this game a hell of a lot. I'm going to start playing it again because let's face it, no one wants to go back to Rory. The EA days are over. No, never again. Never again. Not enough content in that game at all. On the other hand, should we go back to Tiger Woods games? I think we should. I think they should re-release them. If you're out there, please someone start a petition to get the Tiger Woods games remastered. It would be absolutely fantastic. You would be a hero in my books, you know. So that's it, pretty much, guys. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share and subscribe if you guys like this content. Again, I've given you my gamer tag. The Facebook group, we've got a Facebook group now for the Nice Guys for Life, TNG for Life, and it's now TNG and G, so the nice guys and gals. You know, I'll see you all at another time, but thank you very much for tuning in and keep up.